Pacifica Radio, I'm Scott Baba. The head of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, or UNRWA, said this week that the agency's ability to deliver aid in Gaza is becoming increasingly difficult as chaos and security issues have broken out in Gaza. Ata Shaheen reports.
UNRWA Commissioner General Felipe Lazzarini said his agency is struggling to deliver aid to the over 1 million malnourished Palestinians in Gaza.
Far too many trucks have been looted, have not reached properly destination.
Meanwhile, there's an active campaign in the Israeli parliament to classify UNRWA as a terrorist organization. Lazzarini called on UN member states to support UNRWA and to push back against efforts to delegitimize it.
It would be a mistake to see this attack only through the lens of a bilateral relation between UNRWA and Israel, that much more is at stake.
Earlier this year, the Israeli government accused some UNRWA staff of participating in the Hamas attack. That led many UN member states to pull their funding from UNRWA, which Lazzarini said added to the agency's existential crisis. Right now, he says UNRWA only has the cash to support itself through August. Reporting for Pacifica Radio, I'm Ata Shaheen.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has returned to his homeland Australia aboard a charter jet, hours after pleading guilty to obtaining and publishing U.S. military secrets. The plea deal required Assange to admit guilt to a single felony count, but also permitted him to return to Australia without any time in an American prison. The judge sentenced him to the 5 years he'd already spent behind bars in the UK fighting extradition to the U.S. on an Espionage Act indictment. Assange raised his right fist as he emerged from the plane to a cheer from supporters at the Canberra airport. Barry Pollock, one of Assange's lawyers, said the deal ultimately vindicated Assange.
The court today determined that no harm was caused by Mr. Assange's publications. We know that they were newsworthy. We know that they were quoted by every major media outlet on the planet. And we know that they revealed important information. That is called journalism. The United States prosecuted that. They exposed Mr. Assange to 175 years in prison. That is what has a chilling effect.
Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich has gone on trial in Russia on espionage charges that he, his employer, and the U.S. government vehemently deny. Daria Bunderchuk has more.
Evan Gershkovich appeared standing in a glass box in a courtroom in the city of Yekaterinburg on Wednesday. He faces up to 20 years in prison for alleged spying in a Russian defense enterprise in March 2023. The Wall Street Journal dismissed allegations against Gershkovich as false and baseless charges built on calculated and transparent lies. Russia's President Putin earlier admitted there had been contact with Washington about a potential prisoner swap. Daria Bondarchuk, Moscow.
Russian court officials said Gershkovich's next hearing is set for August 13th. George Latimer, a pro-Israel centrist, defeated Democratic Representative Jamal Bowman yesterday in a Democratic primary in suburban New York that highlighted the party's deep divisions over the war in Gaza. Bowman's loss is a first for the squad of progressive Democrats. Bowman is one of Congress's most liberal voices and a prominent critic of Israel's war in Gaza, and had been seeking a third term representing a district in New York City's northern suburbs that include parts of the Bronx and Westchester. Latimer has served as a Westchester County executive since 2018 and was encouraged to run by Jewish leaders. He was also financially supported by the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, who spent nearly $15 million on the primary, filling airwaves and mailboxes with negative ads in an effort to unseat Bowman. Prominent progressives like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Senator Bernie Sanders supported Bowman, while Latimer was endorsed by Hillary Clinton. Bowman spoke to supporters after his primary defeat last night.
This movement has always been about justice. It has always been about humanity. It has always been about equality. And it has always been about our collective liberation.
The congressional district's boundaries have shifted since Bowman first won office in 2020, losing most of its sections in the Bronx and adding more in Westchester County suburbs. Nationally, Democratic Party leaders have emphasized moving towards centrist candidates who might fare better in suburban races. I'm Scott Baba for Pacifica Radio.